What's up, VMO? Chilling today. Been pretty sick. Trying to get over it. So, kind of sitting around doing a lot of nothing. What are y'all up to? Shout out to Michael over at Sharp Things with the hookup on the screw. Was missing a screw on this guy, and Michael hooked it up, man. Walking around with a knife with a missing screw is like, golly, I don't even know. I don't even know what to compare it to. It sucks. Of course, we got the Rone skis. The Rone is really, really special to me because, well, for a lot of reasons. For one, I've wanted this thing for a really long time. But the thing with the Rone is, yeah, you can kind of see in there, he says, hold on a second. There we go. You can see it. It says Rone. Using the square as the R. And, of course, too, we've got number 228. Number 228 out of 228 ever made. And made in the USA, of course. So yeah, the Rone is very special to me because also too, got the action dialed in. When I first got it, when it first came in, it was a straight guillotine. And I've kind of tightened it up a little bit. We're still perfectly centered. If it'll focus. Yeah. We are still, come on, buddy. I didn't want to focus. Trust me, that sucker is centered. But this is a super impressive knife for a few reasons. If you go back to Ruben's Titanium Tool on his Instagram, you go back for quite a ways like I did. This is the first knife he's ever made. So Ruben's Titanium Tool, a little bit about him. This is just a guy who builds knives like in his spare time. I don't know what he does for work. His full-time job is definitely not knife making. But I went all the way back, which took a lot of scrolling. Went back to the very beginning of his Instagram, and he had like a pry bar, multi-tool, little thingy mabob. I don't even know how to describe it. But he did a GoFundMe for that, built those, and then he started working on the Rone. He started working on the Rone in 2016, I believe it was. So, and since 2016 up until 2024, he has made 228 of these knives. And the only way to get one, he does not have a Facebook, he does not have a website, he has an Instagram. The only way that you could ever get one of these is if you saw, he would post on his page, he would post a video of him with a Rone, and it would say Rone number, whatever, 108, available. And then he would put the price on plain Jane model. Now he has a few, so he has this model that's fully milled, and then he's got another one where I've seen him do where he's got milled show side and non-milled lock side. I don't know the price on that one, but I know generally these are CPM 154 blades. These run $850, and that's $850 shipped. And that's really impressive because for a knife of this caliber, I mean, it is really, really freaking amazing. I mean, we can see the milling on the blade, like it's like steps. We do have a spot there on the blade. That's how it came to me. I'm not sure what that is, but not even upset about it at all. Um, but like for instance, let me show you on the Norseman. The Norseman's also got the milled blade, but the milled blade on the Norseman, I mean, yes, you can feel it, but it's not real. It's not all that milled. It's totally just an aesthetic thing. I mean, I don't know if it's not an aesthetic thing. Aesthetic thing. That's a mouthful. On the Rone, but the milling here on the Norseman is just. I don't know. I mean, look at that. And look at that. It's just a whole nother fucking ball game. It's just crazy. And you can feel that big time. But anyway, for him to charge $850 with shipping included on that. Now, granted, he does PayPal only, so because I sent it, I had to shoot it from my bank account to PayPal, and that cost me like PayPal's fee. If you want to direct send money from PayPal, you're going to pay a fee. So it did cost me a little more than $850, but he charges $850 on these with shipping. I remember back when I bought a Koenig Arius from Koenig, the knife was $755, and I ended up paying like $50 for shipping. I know that Oz charges a good amount of money for shipping. And that's not even something that, you know, I'm not mad at people for charging money on shipping. Almost, that would have sucked. Thank God I'm carpet down there. That would have sucked filming me getting stabbed in the foot, dude. I was driving my car after the wedding shower, and I had my knife out. And the first day I ever carried this knife was at my wedding shower, and I had it in my pocket, and it sticks out of the pocket quite a bit. I mean, we're sticking out like that much in the pocket. So when I put my seatbelt on, I don't like it. I don't want my seatbelt rubbing up against it. So whenever I was driving on Saturday, I'd pull my knife out of my pocket and either stick it in my pocket, or I'd most likely pull it out and just play with it while I'm driving. But I was playing with it, and somehow I dropped it, and it fell like, I've got like a little trash bag that I keep in my car, and it fell like in the trash bag. But on the way down, the sucker fucking got me, man, and it was a deep cut. This thing is razor sharp, man. It is absolutely a fucking razor. This thing is very, very sharp. But there I go, getting off track again. $850 shipped. But anyway, I've gone on. I'm so bad about babbling. The reason that this is so special, there are a lot of knives out there that I would say are. I mean, obviously, this isn't the nicest knife in the world. Of course, it's up there, and as far as nice knives go, it's definitely not an inexpensive knife by any means. But the reason that the Rone is so special to me and to anyone that owns one, a lot of knives. If you want a Rosie Skelly, if you want, I mean, you name it, an HMC, you want a Hypercut Manufacturing. These are all knives, like HMC and Hypercut are some knives that I've really been into lately. They're super duper duper nice. Most knives, if you want to pay the inflated price and you want to, pay out the ass, I mean, I guarantee you right now, if I had $2,000 cash, I could go get me a Rosie Skelly. If I had, what's another one? Edgy Blade Works. another favorite of mine. If you got the money, you can go find one. But with the Rones, if you want to get one from Ruben, not only do you have to catch him when he posts one and be the first person, so he'll post one available, and the first person to reply in, to comment in, and message him, that's who gets it. So let's say you want to buy a Rone. I mean, dude, he will post Rones. The last Rone that he's posted, I think, was in April. That was number 227 in April. I mean, like I said, he's been making these since 2016, and there is only 228 of them available. So they're fucking hard to get, man. It doesn't matter how much money you got. Now, I've seen two on Slice Fine Knives for super cheap too. They were wanting $450, but they were pretty well. I mean, they were well carried and used. They had a lot of wear on them, but they're just impossible to get. You don't see them on the secondary. You don't see them on eBay. You don't see them. I mean, I think I saw one on Arizona Customs that sold for about $1,200. You know how Arizona Customs is. But anyway, super special. Really, really freaking nice. Unlike the Norseman, when you get the Norseman, now this Norseman needs to be cleaned. It's been carried a lot. But when you get it cleaned, or if you get it right from Norseman, it's going to be guillotine, but it's also going to have a lot of bounce back. Not a big fan of bounce back, unless it's like a button lock or you know, I know that the smock is not a button lock, but button lock type knives, I'm fine with some bounce back. But on a frame lock, you know, I really could, you know, prefer to not have any bounce back. And the only thing I would say that I wish he would have done on the Rone, it has got a very, very intense, it's got a very, let's see if I can get up in there. It's hard to see. We got a pretty big detent ball, and I wish he would have done a detent ball ramp. So here is, and there's not a whole lot of middle ground. That's where I call it the middle ground, where you're in between the detent ball and lock. So that's it. You've got like that much space. So when you release this thing and you unlock it, very rarely are you going to catch yourself in that middle ground unless you're trying to. But still, I would have appreciated a detent ball ramp. I would have think that would have been nice. And also, the edges on here, on the flipper tab, and up here on the blade, I wish he would have crowned that a little bit. Crowning meaning rounded it off a little bit, made it a little smoother. We do have a real strong detent on here, so it's not that hard to catch yourself just like going like that. But the edges are roughing. I mean, it's not terrible. Now, he did chamfer the edges along the handles there, which are nice. Really, really comfortable in hand. But I wish he would have rounded those a little bit. When you sit there and you're flipping it all day, you can notice that it's like, damn, my finger's kind of feeling it. And I also had a cut on my finger, that little cut right there, I am thinking that that's from opening it like that. It is rough enough to where I think that that's how I got that cut. But apart from that, the Rone it's real. It is real nice, man. I like the backspacer he did. I've never seen a backspacer that is, I mean, it's not even on the back. It's more of a bottom spacer. Everything on this knife except for the blade and for the pivot is titanium. We've got a lock bar insert. We've got milling on the inside. The first thing I thought when I picked up this knife, I was like, this is light. I was thinking it would have been heavier, but it's not heavy at all. It's real nice. And yeah, ergos, super comfortable. Super comfortable ergos. We've got some pretty aggressive jimping. I had mentioned that we got some rough edges up here that kind of carries over into the jimp there. So we got some really aggressive jimping. Full-handed grip, and even with that flipper tab, you can definitely choke up on that. So I appreciate that. Kind of reminds me a little bit of the Grimsmo Rask and the Grimsmo Norseman. You got that flipper tab that is perfect for choking up on. But when I mentioned rounding off that flipper tab, Grimsmo does a great job. I mean, even on the Rask, with the Norseman, we've got that crown spine. I absolutely am a whore for crown spines. I love a nice crowned spine. It's so nice. I love it. So on the Rask, the Grimsmo Rask, which I used to have and miss very much, the Rask does not have a crown spine. But a crown spine wouldn't make sense on the Rask. The Rask, I mean, just go look up a Rask if you don't know what a Rask is. But they did crown the flipper tab on the Rask. Also, I was really impressed with the Kaiser, I forget what the Feist. I wanted to say Feist, but I'm like, this is not the Feist. Kaiser Feist did the crown spine there. I absolutely love a crown spine. And speaking of crown spines, Spyderco Smock, if you go back, the Spyderco Smock was made by Spyderco, but it was designed by Kevin Smock. The SK23 is the original Smock that was made by Kevin Smock. It's called the SK23. And the SK23, imagine the Smock, but full tie, no speed holes. I don't think he did speed holes on it. No Spidey hole, but you've got a crown spine. You've got a crown spine. And speaking of tie, I've actually got tie handles for this guy, but I'm sure you've seen me show off the tie scales that Ryan anode. Ryan Ellsworth, our admin, he anode those. He's awesome at anoing. I've actually got this little titanium cube. I had sent him a titanium cube. So I've got these little titanium cubes. Mine's actually I've got another one. It's actually in the car. I've got it in the car because I'm going to send it over to Ryan. It's a little cube, and it says TI on it, titanium. And it's just like the periodic table. It's got all the numbers and stuff associated with titanium. So I sent him that because I wanted to be able to fidget with it and play with it, but the edges were so sharp that it was not pleasant to play with. So I sent it over to him, had him round off the edges, make it not sharp at all, and he also did his lightning ano on it. So this lightning ano that you're seeing here, it's kind of similar to the scales that I have for the Smock. Kind of similar to that. But this was not done by Ryan. I think Ryan actually did a much better job. But anyway, that's a video of me rambling, talking about the Rone. Absolutely amazing. Check out him on Instagram. It's at Rubens_titanium_tool. I think it's singular, tool. If you look him up on Instagram, you will find him. And he hasn't had a knife since, I want to say, April. So I was really, really lucky and consider myself blessed to be able to say that I finally own a Rone. If you're able to get a Rone from him, he will ano it for you, whatever colors you want. He also does stonewashed. I've seen him do stonewashed. I've seen him do acid washed, blade, with stonewashed. He has some pretty cool anode Rones. But I went with raw on mine. Maybe I'll ano it one day, but I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, if you watched this whole thing, I appreciate you guys trying to get better. I've been laying around all day the past couple days trying to get better. I'm sure you can hear it in my voice. I have got some condition that I cannot pronounce. Maybe it's on my paperwork here. Let's see. You have been seen. Da 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 da. Mycoplasma pneumoniae is what I was told I have, with a little bit of bronchitis on the side. So I've got bronchitis with I see, I've already forgot. Myoplasma myocardiae plasma? I don't know. Anyway, trying to get through that so I can go work. And I hope everybody's doing all right. Hope everybody's enjoying the holiday season, spending time with family and whatnot. Yeah, have a good one, guys. Thanks for watching. Peace! All right, so I went ahead and went back to the beginning so you don't have to. This is the first post he ever did on Instagram, May 25th, 2015. It's a tool he made. And yeah, he's done a lot of different types of little tools and stuff, man. I've seen quite a few different types of stuff. Very interesting. I would love to be able to get a hold of one of these things, but that would probably be pretty tough, especially considering he doesn't have a Facebook group or anything. Definitely pretty neat. So this one here, it shows all the stuff going on here. Phillips head screwdriver, flathead tip, bottle opener, 1/4-inch hex bit driver, pry tool, 2 keychain holes, box opener, and a little ruler. And then we see first post he ever did on the Rone. Actually, that's wrong. That's going to be this right here. March 2nd, 2016. Something I've been working on for a few months now. And so we kind of see the progression. Pretty neat. Michael from Sharp Things, I was showing him the Rone, and he was like, yeah, this thing is way too sharp to be a guillotine. I let Winter play with it, and she cut the shit out of herself. She wasn't ready for that drop. But yeah, we kind of see him messing around with different stuff here. I see a milled blade and a non-milled blade. This is another pretty neat little pry tool. I like that a lot. Very simple, basic, super dope. He used to put the blade steel and the number on the blade, and he stopped doing that a little while back. I don't know why they don't do that more often. And some other changes he's made. I think a while back he used to have a on the pivot he had a I'm having a brain fart here. He had a Torx bit hole on the pivot. Then he switched that to a flathead, and it's not even a straight flathead. It's like a proprietary sort of situation. I use a flathead for it, and be careful, because if you use something that doesn't fit just right, if you use something that's a little bit smaller than it should be, you will fuck that shit up. So be careful if you have one. But anyway, yeah, just wanted to show you guys the history of Ruben's Titanium Tools Rone. So for 8 years, I think I had said 6 in the video. For 8 years, well, over the course of 8 years, he made a total of 228 Rones, and the last one he made, Rone number 227. This is what it looks like when he posts it. This one here would have said 850 to your door, U.S. shipping only, PayPal or Zelle. Anodizing included on titanium parts upon request. CPM 154 blade, titanium handles, screws, backspacer, and pocket clip. Ceramic detent and bearings. So, first person to say in. This guy here, Novak Brady, got it. Potentially. But, yeah. Super dope. Anyway. There's your history and whatever of Ruben's Titanium Tool. Freaking artist, man. Dude's absolutely amazing at what he does. Absolutely amazing. For someone to come out with a knife of this caliber as their first fucking knife, it's pretty impressive.
Why do people have to live outside in the brutal heat?